Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Luis Diaz and I'm the head of global sales at Readiness IT. Today, Daniel Blott, solutions architect at Intraway, and Robert Emery, VP vertical solutions at Cloudville, will be presenting the webinar, B2B 5G network slicing, unlocking the digital transformation. This webinar will cover the presentation of an innovative proof of concept that Readiness IT, together with our technology partners Cloudville and Intraway, have recently conducted within one of our Tier 1 telecom customers in Europe. This proof of concept objective was to demonstrate a best-of-breed OSS and BSS architecture suited for coping with the current and future telecom operators' challenges and business models that are imposed by the global adoption and launch of new innovative 5G and IoT services offering to the B2B market segment, making use, between others, of 5G network slicing capabilities. The agenda for today covers an introduction of the proof of concept and the key players involved, followed by a comprehensive description of the use cases deployed and proven, followed by a solution demonstration, and finally, we will share with you a summary of the successful results achieved with this joint effort. The main purpose of this project was to demonstrate a set of solution capabilities required by an European telecom operator that is looking to transform their B2B operations while enabling new business-to-business models and operations using 5G. It shall be emphasized that all of the below objectives were met with great success and on time as planned with the customer. We aim to prove a digital-first and cloud-native OSS and BSS solution ready to go live today, leverage from the 5G network slicing capabilities to launch new products and services, provide a catalog-driven process-centric solution that is able to support fast time-to-market launch of out-of-the-box B2B use cases for the entire life cycle, including opportunity creation, quotation, negotiation, order, contract subscription, and case management, skillfully orchestrate and manage cross-domain operations on multi-technology, multi-vendor networks, including network virtualized functions, provide orchestration, design, and activation services, provide a truly future-proof solution that was built around the industry standards, both from TM Forum as well as from GSMA, maximize the operational independence while simultaneously minimizing the interaction with existing legacy systems, and last but not least, to access and validate the user experience for the network slice provider, for the network slice customer, as well as for the communication service provider. This proof of concept solution integrated the capabilities of Cloudville's Telecom 360 BSS suite and Intraway's Symphonya OSS solution, covering all BSS and OSS requirements. Well, we do have a lot to cover in 1 hour, so let's get started. I'll turn it now over to Robert. Robert, please.
Okay, thank you, Luis. Let me give you an overview of the architecture of the PLC. We had Cloudville Telecom 360 providing most of the BSS functions, including partner management, catalog, and CRM, self-care, etc. Communicating to Symphonya through TM Forum Open APIs, and Symphonya communicated down to the network layer. So Cloudville is providing the lead to sales in the customer order management, and Symphonya is providing the service order management and service activation. With the typical gray overlap, Cloudville does some of the service order management, but the core traditional service order management is done by Symphonya. We're using the TM Forum ODA, and both Cloudville and Symphonya are deployed up in the cloud, as you would expect from a SaaS solution. Oh, now let's begin with an overview of Cloudville Telecom 360. So Cloudville is an e-commerce platform at heart, so it's got a much broader scope than most traditional telecom BSSs. We focus on the end-to-end solution. It is software as a service, but we know full well the telecom industry the number of systems we need to integrate to. And so it is a plug and play. We have our own app store where we plug in either our own modules or adapters to connect to your own OSS and BSS, providing an easy way to integrate and a seamless solution. Now we focus on 4 main solutions or solution areas. The first one being partner management. So that's the ability to onboard partners, onboard their products, drive the approval process both for the partners and the products. And then we have a marketplace. So once their products are onboarded, they can be sold either as is through the marketplace, just as you would do in, let's say, an Amazon fulfillment. We'll do a fulfillment by the partner or fulfillment by the operator, and we drive that whole process all the way through. We have product lifecycle management, which provides the catalog and the business processes around managing that product. So the approvals, price changes, disconnects, all of that type of stuff. And then we have the CPQ module, which drives the quoting, the building of the services or the solutions in the B2B world, developing custom solutions and proposals, all the way through to the order management and the fulfillment. And then we have a sales management module that broadens that into the leads and the opportunities and managing the sales funnel. Now, I said we were much broader than most telecom BSS solutions. You'll see that we have the 3 domains: the customer, the partner, and the supplier management. So I talked about the partner management. We also have our CRM, giving you the 360-degree view of the customer, as well as supplier management. So the definition of suppliers, the products that they offer, issuing RFQs, receiving goods, and which moves us into the next domain, let's say, which is the catalog and the inventory. So we have support for products and services, so like physical goods, sales, rentals, etc. Your traditional telecom services. We have digital product support, so vouchers and digital download codes and all of that type of stuff, as well as an inventory management module that allows you, if you so choose, to drive the physical fulfillment through Cloudville as well. And that includes the pick, pack, ship process in your warehouses, tracking inventory in retail stores, in trucks, all of that type of stuff. Moving into the leads, the quotations, contracts, and orders. So the core of that CPQ process and the funnel management. We drive customer order management and service order management. And you'll see here that gray area where we decompose the order into service orders. And then you'll see in the demo that we then pass that service order on to Symphonya to do the real service order management. We have post-sale support, so case management, as well as invoicing and subscription management, all the MACD processes, dashboard and analytics around it. And then to support all of this, we have an e-commerce portal for unregistered customers, a self-service portal for those registered customers, and a partner portal. And we're able to support both the B2C and the B2B markets. So now I'm going to transfer it over to Daniel to talk about Symphonya.
Okay, thank you, Robert. Now let's go through the Service Order Manager and Service Activation with Symphonya. Symphonya is a multi-domain, multi-vendor solution designed to orchestrate, activate, and manage virtually any service across a physical, virtual, and cloud network infrastructure. Symphonya manages, controls, and automates the end-to-end service order fulfillment, provisioning, and activation services across multiple networks, technology, and vendors' equipment. It is fully cloud native and vendor agnostic based on a BPM orchestration system and a multi-protocol connector framework. Automation workflows are triggered by business layer using standard open APIs, but also by capturing network elements. This enables the implementation of dynamic services and closed-loop automation processes. Symphonya activates any service, any technology, any network from a single point using the northbound interface that is based on the TMF forum open APIs. This simplifies the integration process with multiple BSS with external system and is easily integrated with assurance solutions to provide closed loop assurance to the activation process. It has a modern architecture that implements state-of-the-art technologies like Kubernetes, microservices, and Apache Kafka as the main broker to provide automated scalability horizontally and vertically. Its domain-based architecture generates an abstraction layer between the business process and different network variations. This abstraction made it possible to operate a mixed environment with minimal to no changes to your process and minimal to no training for operational personnel. Symphonya also includes pre-built packages to speed up new services launches or roll out new network technologies, so there is no need to create workflows and connectors from scratch. Symphonya has a large library of connectors with integrations to the north or the south with different network elements and platforms for different technology available to be used in any implementation. For a full list, you can access the intraway page. Symphonya is prepared to support fixed and mobile use cases, physical and virtual network elements, and for cloud and NFV. Now, let's go through Symphonya design principles. The platform is aligned with TM Forum entities and implements the TM Forum open APIs to expose a single interface to northbound systems and abstracts complex southbound network protocols. Some of the APIs implemented are, for example, the TMF 641 for Service Order Manager API and the TMF 639 for Resource Inventory Management. Symphonya has been distinguished as an Amazon Web Service Select Technology Partner. It is designed for operational excellence, security, reliability, performance efficiency, and cost optimization, following the 5 pillars of AWS well-architected framework. It implements a standard-based BPM engine and multi-protocol connectors with pre-built and ready-to-deploy provisioning and monitoring workflows, and off-the-shelf connectors, which simplifies and accelerates implementations, time to market, and addition of new technologies. The no-code platform, Symphonya provides a codeless platform with the ability to communicate with systems and devices without developing a single line of code or installing new components. It provides a single screen for infrastructure, business monitoring, and alarm system, and a web interface with real-time flows, execution, and central logs. And it's event-driven architecture with Apache Kafka as the main broker, and it's deployed on containers managed by Kubernetes, allowing the platform to scale vertically and horizontally, according to the requirements of the business. Okay, now I'm going to change to Luis, who is going to explain the 5G network slicing use cases.
Thank you, Daniel. So let's introduce the use cases that we have performed in this important customer. Okay, so 2 use cases were prioritized and agreed with the customer's business and technical teams for the proof of concept scope. Both were deployed successfully within a matter of few weeks. The first use case consists on a video surveillance and remote control with 5G slice use case. This was to create an offering of an end-to-end video surveillance service for the operator corporate customers that can be subscribed and managed digitally through a portal. This service makes use of a 5G network slice as the communication base, and the end-to-end offer includes the user equipment, the cameras, the service platform, the storage for the streams, and the ability to manage the service and perform all kinds of related analytics. As for the second use case, we tried out a private mobile network use case, creating a complete customizable private network end-to-end, also subscribed and managed digitally through a portal, with all the mobile components included, and linked with the operator's cloud for adding to it additional applications as required and network functions as required. With this said, let's move on to the demonstration.
Hi, we'll begin today's demo by looking at things from the customer's perspective within Cloudville's B2B self-service portal. I'm going to log in as a client here, cloudvilledemo@gmail.com. And you can see it's actually Francisco, who works for Visa Biera. And they're brought into their account where they can change their contact details or the locations, contacts, billing, account information, communication preferences. They have an access to the dashboard where they can go in and take a look at subscriptions or invoices, for example. Make payments on those if they choose to. So we are PCI certified, for example. Oops, new card. So we take credit card, online payments, pre-authorized payments, the works. So they can manage their accounts, take a look at their subscriptions and their orders through that portal. We're going to focus today on the shopping experience. So the customer is going to place an order for a video conferencing service. So we'll shop. We've got a choice of multiple catalogs. So there's some marketplace catalogs where partners can onboard their products and sell them through yourself. In this case, let's just take the traditional catalog. And we're going to go to the business portion, corporate, IoT, surveillance and inspection. And you can see we've got categories here. We're going to order a plan, like a video surveillance service. We're going to order some 5G connectivity for that service. And we're going to order the video cameras on top of that. So let's go in and take a look at the plans. We've got fixed camera surveillance, incident response, infrastructure inspection. Maybe I don't know what I'm looking for. So you're going to see typical e-commerce functionality here. We can compare the products, compare them, show the differences across all groups, and you can see the attributes that are different, simultaneous connections and the priority of the service and the positioning support, all of that type of stuff. But we're interested today in the fixed camera surveillance. So we'll customize that product. And we've got one add-on here, and it's premium support. So let's select that, add it, and it's been added to the cart. Now we can continue to shop. We can order other products, all of that type of stuff. In this case, I'm going to go in and order the connectivity. And we've got a pre-configured slice here. We're going to customize that. And in this case, the only attribute we're exposing for customization is the region. So in this case, we're going to go to Portugal, across all Portugal. But if we wanted to hit other areas, we could do that. And we're in the cart. Now let's go back in and take a look at the camera. So we'll order the camera, a 4K camera, add that to the cart. So we can add the add-ons. So we can see the composition of the bundles. We can configure the individual products, all of that type of stuff. Now we can go in and add the add-ons. So I'm going to go intrusion detection and maybe object tracking, storage options. We'll pick after-hour storage, camera service levels, and let's take silver. Add that to the cart. We've got various terms. We got the bundle, the fixed camera surveillance, the 5G slice, and the camera. And we'll just leave it at that. We could order 2 cameras or multiple cameras, all of that type of stuff. Let's just check this out. And we can provide a PO number. and the requested date. Shipping method, we'll continue. Let's select an appointment. And let's say we want it done tomorrow. And we'll continue. Place the order. And go back to the orders, sign out. And we'll log in as a back office user. And we've got access to our dashboard, just like the customer has access to its dashboard. The back-end users have their own dashboards. There can be many of them. This one's more operational, showing the different tasks that are available to be worked, all of that type of stuff. We can go through the dashboard, and you can see there's a couple of solution designs for quotes, feasibility assessment, solution acceptance, etc. So now let's take a look at the CRM. So if we take a look in here, we can take a look at Visa Bureau. And we've got similar options here, just a little bit broader. So we can take a look at their credit profile, for example, the dashboard, locations, contacts, notes, their interaction history, any quotes we've sent them, that type of stuff. We take a look at the actual quotes and orders, any contracts they may have, billing, opportunities, case management, projects, subscriptions, appointments, all of that type of stuff. Let's take a look at their order here. And you can see we got a new order. And right now it's in feasibility. We provide you a high-level view of the progress of this order. Behind the scenes is a much more detailed workflow running that I'll show you. And once we decompose the order, we can take a look at a service order and look at the workflow. But this is a high-level status. And behind it, there are tasks. Now I'm logged in as a power user, so I've got access to do basically anything in the system. So I'm going to work this solution feasibility task. And this is all catalog driven. We take a look at the products in the order, and the catalog, the technical portion of the catalog, tells us, you know, what tasks are required, whether we need order approval, design, feasibility, order acceptance, all of that type of stuff. So we're just going to work through this. We're going to complete it, and you can see that we got a solution design task got triggered, and in fact it's here, and pick it up. And you can see on the solution design, rather than opening up the default view, we opened up the cart view. So you have control over what the person who's completing the task sees on the order, so that it can be more streamlined. He's going to complete that. We're going to go to order approval, and I'll just approve this as a matter of course. And again, all of these steps are not required. They're all configured by product. So if there's at least one product on the order that needs approval, we drive the approval flow. So we're going to complete this task, and you'll see underneath the covers the related items. If we look at it, we have service orders. And then this is the subscription for the camera rental, but we've got to provision the camera, the 5G network, and the video surveillance system. So you see the 3 service orders here. They're all waiting on prerequisites, and that's because we haven't done the shipping yet. We want to wait for the camera to get on site, and that's what's holding up the subscription as well. So if we go and take a look at our inventory management, for example, and this could be done by a third-party system, but Cloudville is a full e-commerce platform, so it has inventory and fulfillment and actually procurement and supplier management and all of that type of stuff as well. So, okay, so we'll create a new wave. All the orders, and you can see we created an inventory order, picking list, etc. What this wave does is it collects all of the orders that are outstanding or that need to be fulfilled from the warehouse for that particular location, and we ran this against Lisboa, and now we have our picking list. And if we open the picking list, it's our camera and then NO-SIM. We can pick them individually, but before we do that, we need to, you can see where we're going to pick them from. Oh, it's in the shipping. I need to do this. So we say complete. We've picked them both. Now it's going to update everything. Now we're going to go into the packing, and you can see our inventory order. So that customer order was decomposed into a service orders and inventory orders. And in fact, if there were digital products like download codes or discount codes, that type of stuff, we also do the digital orders within Cloudville. So we can open that up, and you can see we've got the two cameras. We can go in and update, or we need to update the EMEI for this one, and the ICCD ID for the SIM. Now I can set the status to shipped, update, and now the inventory order has been marked as fulfilled. But now if we go back up into the service orders, let's take a look at our service orders here, or let's look at the overall. We can see that the status is now shipped. We're activating one of the services, and the other two are waiting on this one. And this is where we've passed an order to Symphonya to do the provisioning. We can see the detailed status behind the scenes. We view the diagram, and we can see that they're waiting for the prerequisites, and then we created a 641 create service order, sent it to Symphonya, and now we're waiting for the response back from Symphonya. So I'm going to hand this over to show you the other side. Thank you.
Okay, now we are on the service order manager side, where Symphonya will be in charge of orchestrating and activating the different network elements necessary for the creation of the slice and the fixed camera for the video surveillance use case. So at this moment we can see that we are receiving the request from Cloudville with the activation service order through the Symphonya northbound interface TMF641. We see that the service orders is processing, and the service order will be in charge of creating the slice with the infrastructure for this use case. We can open the service order and see that it contains the three service order items, one for the allocation of the slice, another one for the activation of the slice, and the last one for the video surveillance to create the account in the NVR platform. We see that the orders are in processing stage, so now we are going to open the flow corresponding to the allocation of the slice to see what it is doing. So we can see the execution of the flow in green, and in yellow that is being executed, and we see that it just has finished its execution, the flow. So now we are going to do a brief review of the actions of the flow that has performed. In the first part of the flow, we see a series of boxes that define the assignment logic of the different run, core, and transport templates, which are the network elements that we are going to activate in this flow. Symphonya has defined a series of network templates, slice templates called Nest, which are based on the models defined by the 3GPP standard, and which have different characteristics to be used in different 5G network slicing applications. Then, based on certain parameters sent by Cloudville BSS, for example user equipment max divisor or downlink and uplink throughput max slice, among others, Symphonya will select the most suitable template for the run, core, and the transport. So after choosing the subnet slice template, we will execute the different commands to the run, core, and the transport in this network slice subnet management function. So the first group of activation commands is for the run. We see this first resource order that is in charge of allocating resources in the RAN. We can see as the input parameters of the order the different characteristics that were received with values that were taken from the network subnet slice template of the RAN. We can see also the execution log of the commands in the RAN controller, where we can see a post-type command with different characteristics to allocate the resource. And as the output parameters, we can see the show ID and the network slice subnet instance ID that were received. So with this show ID, we are going to query the status of the execution of the allocate action to a RAN controller. We see the flow waiting here for the RAN controller to respond and the different executions. Here we query the controller and see that it was in the initial state. Then we still query the controller to see that is in the progress state, and finally when the output of the controller has finished, it means that the resources have been allocated correctly in the RAN and the flow continues its execution. So with the network slice subnet instance ID, we query the RAN controller to get the point of the interconnection that will be used for the NBR platform to connect the cameras. Finally, the RAN, the user plane, and the distribute unit are persisted in Symfonica's inventory in the form of resources. We are also considering in the flow the different errors that may arise, whether they are business or connectivity errors, and we can either open a trial ticket reporting the incident to another external system, or we can roll back and undo the applied network configuration. Here we can see the rollback flow. So once the RAN resources are allocated in the slide, we continue the flow and we do the same in the core and the transport and the different commands executed, and finally the flows ends successfully. So going back to the allocate service order, we can see that the order was previously in progress and now is completed successfully, and that the flows associated with disordered items have completed successfully. For example, the first flow for allocating resources in the RAN, core and transport, has ended. The activation of the slice, activating the RAN, core and transport, has also finished. And then the account creation on the NBR platform for the video surveillance is finished. So after configuring all the infrastructure, we'll receive another service order from Cloudville, the user connection, containing the information about the cameras and the SIM cards to activate, and also information about optional services. So for the SIM card activation, we will go to the HSS platform to activate the SIM cards, and for the cameras and services to the NBR platform. So now we are going to receive the user connection request. Let's refresh. And we can see it in progress. We refresh again. We can see that it has completed successfully. When we open the service order, we can see this service order item that contains the camera sent by Cloudville. We can open also the flow. and see what it did. And we can see that the commands are being executed in the HSS for the creation of the SIM used by the cameras. We have as an input parameter the IMSI and the MSIDN, and the commands executed to create the SIM card. So once the SIM is created, we see that the last step in this flow is the creation of the cameras in the NVR platform. So this is the last step, and finally everything is working. So with this flow, the activation process has concluded, and we can see now how all the information in Symphonya was persisted in the Symphonic's inventory. So we are going to go to the customer and see all the services provisioned, and we can see in the inventory the enhanced mobile broadband slice with all the associated attributes, the 3 GPP attributes with the values taken from the selected template. We can see also the different templates of the RAN, core, and transport that were assigned dynamically based on the parameters received from Cloudville. We can see the video surveillance service here with the associated NVR platform, and the user connection that represent each of the activated cameras with the associated SIM information. So okay, now let's go back to the BSS side to see how Cloudville finished the whole process.
Now that we've seen how it works in IntraWave, once everything's done there, you see that our statuses have been updated. We got the responses back from Symphonya, and in this PLC we updated the charging and the billing. And you can see that as I'm talking, the new solution acceptance task got generated. These guys are all complete. The customer order saw that all the fulfillment was done, and it's now decided to generate a service acceptance task. And again, this is dependent on the services. It's straightforward. Maybe you don't ask the customer if the service is up and running, but in this case, we will confirm with the customer, and as soon as this solution's been accepted, now we can start the actual billing. So we close that task. It's going to complete this service. If we take a look at the subscriptions here, they're all active, and we're now billing for, in this case, the camera with all of the rental, installation, and services. But the customer, if we take a look over up at the top level, we can look at his subscriptions, which are, hold on a second. Here, you can see he's got his camera is active, the 5G connectivity subscription is active, and the 4K rental. And each one has actions, so we can disconnect, manage or relocate, change the address, the configuration, modify the product, change ownership if one customer buys another. All of the use cases that are required for, but not just normal MACD, but the business-to-business stuff where companies are buying each other and you've got to move stuff around. So that's it for the demo for today.
So the main fulfill points of the demonstration, we demonstrate the main B2B processes. So that's lead management, funnel, and CPQ. I know in the actual demo, we didn't focus on opportunities and contracts and all of that type of stuff. But within the PLC, rest assured that it was a full end-to-end, including the self-service, sales delivery, opportunity management, all of that type of stuff. So we did the negotiation flows, including approvals, the COM and the decomposition into the service orders, the orchestration of those, the actual fulfillment of them, and then Again, contracting, inventory management, we didn't focus too much on, although you saw a hint of the inventory management. We showed the customer self-service portal. Within the demo, within the demo, you didn't see dynamic pricing, but within the PLC itself, there was regional pricing based on the type of camera, based on contracts, attribute-based pricing, table pricing, all of that type of stuff was demonstrated within the PLC. And then obviously the flexible commercial catalog. So that was from the BSS layer. I'll hand it over to Daniel.
Thank you, Robert. Now let's look at the achievements from the Symphonica point of view. The slice and sub-slice management. Here we demonstrate the end-to-end network slice management with Symphonica, orchestrating between multiple domains, the domain corresponding to the network slice management function, and the domain corresponding to the network slice subnet management function. We also demonstrate the modeling of the different type of slide and sub-slide templates in Symphonica with dynamic selection based on configurable rules and conditions. We were able to see a Symphonica flexible catalog modeling, building 2 use cases from scratch in a few weeks, integrated end-to-end. And also the reuse of business flow, the CFS, RFS services, and resources for different use cases. Then the no-code approach. We could also see that the Design Studio allows you to create your own workflows and easily design, configure, and deploy and test services without writing a single line of code, increasing time to market and reducing project development costs. We create vendor-agnostic connectors and reuse them across services. We could see the graphical point and click designer of Symphonica for the creation of workflows and southbound integrations. And we could see a rapid deployment of mocks or simulators like the ONAP core simulator that we integrate for this project. And finally, we demonstrate the end-to-end fulfillment from service order reception to execution of the commands on the required elements with a smooth integration with Cloudville BSS thanks to the alignment with TM Forum entities and open APIs, and in a simplified deployment in a cloud-based environment. So it seems like we've covered the important topics for these sessions. We are sharing our contact info on the screen in case you want to have a separate discussion. And thanks again for joining us today, and we'll see you next time.